to do what he was supposed to do for God, that was prophesied years ago, that he would be greater than his brother. And he knew if he was going to get on with this part of his life, that something life-changing would have to happen in his life. And so he went over and he put his family in a place, and he put all his things in order, and he was getting ready for whatever might happen. And he went over to pray to be alone. And I'll tell you today, there's times that we need to be alone with Jesus. There's times that we need to have that time where it's just you and God. There's times, let me tell you, if I can for a little while today, that you need to get a relationship with God for yourself. You need, as a young person, I don't care how old you are or how young you are, you need to get to a place with God that you can get where it's just you and Him. And I've said before, when I was a young man, my parents lived for God. My grandparents lived for God. My granny lived for God. I had family that lived for God. But there came a place that I had to get God for myself. And I had to have a place where it was just me and Jesus. Nobody was there telling me what to do or what to say. There was nobody there telling me how to believe or how to live. But there came a place that I had to make a decision for myself, that He was my God and He was my Lord. And I believe this was a point in Jacob's life that he had to make a decision that this was going to be his God for eternity. He was the son of Abraham and Isaac. Not you, Isaac. Another Isaac. Amen. You know, I know sons yet, right? Amen. But Isaac was his father, and Abraham was his father. And if you really knew who these were in the Bible, they were great men. They were fathers of a nation. Not yet. They didn't know it at that time. It didn't happen in their lifetime. But there's nations that are from these men. And they knew God. Abraham had sacrifices unto God. He actually was in the presence of God, and his angels at one time had them in His presence. And they had a walk with God. And Isaac had a walk with God. But Jacob had to come to a place where it was just him and God. He could not live off of the relationship that his father and his grandpa had, but he had to get a relationship for himself. And this isn't all I'm preaching here this morning, but if you don't get anything, I want you to understand you need to have a relationship for God. Most of you here today were brought by your parents or your grandparents or your grandma or somebody, or maybe your Sunday school teacher came and picked you up, and you have somebody around you that has a relationship with God. Amen. If all you know is your parents or your grandparents, or maybe it's your Sunday school teacher, amen, and you cannot live off of their relationship, but there's going to come a point you got to know Jesus for yourself.
Yes, sir.
Do you know who Jesus is today? Conway, do you know who Jesus is today? Is He your God? Amen. If I went through the line here today and asked, is He your God? Is He your God today? Amen. Don't leave here today without Him being your God.